Whenever we look up at a clear night sky, our eyes are flooded with light. We see thousands of stars, thick bands of luminous dust, and a galaxy packed tightly with celestial neighbors. That local density is just one tiny thread in what astrophysicists call the cosmic web. Across the vast universe, gravity pulls billions of individual galaxies together into vast, glowing networks and massive clusters. Living inside one of these dense clusters gives us a specific psychological comfort. Our entire understanding of space is built on the assumption that we are surrounded by structure and light. But that assumption is heavily biased. We formulated our physical laws and our cosmic worldview based on a lucky roll of the dice, spawning in a highly populated, crowded neighborhood. If you look closely at the larger structure of the universe, there is a glaring physical error in that web, a region where matter simply ceases to exist. This map of the local universe shows exactly where that error lies. As we pull back from the dense galaxy clusters, a massive, perfectly empty black circle breaks the network, the Boötes Void. Gravity should have pulled matter evenly into this space, yet this 330 million light-year expanse remains vacant, which leads to a disturbing thought experiment. What if our solar system hadn't formed in the crowded suburbs of the Milky Way, but right in the dead center of this absolute nothingness? To understand the physical reality of that isolation, we have to start with our own home. A Milky Way is immense. A single beam of light takes 100,000 years just to travel from one edge to the other. Now look at this visualization comparing those dimensions. When scaled against the 330 million light-year diameter of the Boötes Void, our entire 100,000 light-year galaxy shrinks down to a single microscopic dot. Placed in the middle of that void, the physical distance to the nearest theoretical edge of the blackness would be over 165 million light-years in any direction. If we drop Earth explicitly into the center of that expanse, the human perspective gets swallowed by the dark. The sheer mathematics of the Boötes Void reduce our entire civilization, our solar system, and our galaxy to an isolated speck stranded in an ocean of nothing. Curiously, the immediate sky above us wouldn't look any different. Because all the individual stars we see with the naked eye are located within our own Milky Way, the local constellations would remain perfectly intact. The change happens when you look between those stars. In our real sky, telescopes capture the faint glowing smudges of neighboring galaxies like Andromeda. In the void, those smudges wouldn't exist. There would be zero intergalactic background light. To any observer standing on Earth, the visible universe would appear to hit a hard, abrupt wall right at the edge of the Milky Way, trapping us in a suffocating closed system. Because of that closed system, the great astronomers of ancient history and the Renaissance would have looked through their early lenses and mathematically proven that the Milky Way was in fact the entire universe. Throughout the 19th century, human industry expanded rapidly. Factories churned, steam engines roared, and technology leaped forward. Yet our cosmic perspective would have remained entirely trapped within our own galactic borders. We would have fought global conflicts and navigated the early 20th century while the most advanced optical telescopes continued to stare out into an unbroken, absolute darkness. It wouldn't be until the 1960s that specialized instruments, like massive radio telescopes, became sensitive enough to detect signals piercing through 165 million light-years of empty space. After millennia of operating under the mathematical certainty that we were the only object in existence, the data would suddenly reveal a universe teeming with billions of other galaxies sitting just beyond the dark. The physical vastness of the Boötes Void is so extreme that it would have successfully hidden the rest of the universe from our species for 99.9% of human history. But we don't live in the void. We are safely nestled in the brightly lit, heavily populated cosmic web. While we reside in the thick of that web, the Boötes Void is a physical reality in our modern sky, a 330 million light-year span of absolute nothingness. Our understanding of the cosmos is a product of our geography. The void proves that even the most universal truths are often just a reflection of where we happen to be standing. We have the hard data. We know exactly where the Boötes Void is located. We know it measures 330 million light-years across, and we understand the crushing isolation it represents. Yet, modern astrophysicists still cannot definitively explain the mechanics of it. Standard cosmological models do not allow for a gap of that magnitude to form naturally, which leaves us with a haunting, unanswered question about this 330 million light-year gap of absolute nothingness, which makes you wonder why.